A case study. A case study is then a real life situation faced by a manager. Now, there has been long years where managers in various companies have faced various situations. They have faced the situation. It may be a crisis. It may be an important situation. It required them to decide a decision which would change the course of their company, which would change the course of the success or failure of what they were doing. So these are the decisions which we try to learn in a management class through theory. We learn it through management principles. We learn it through management models. We learn it by the lecture delivered by the faculty in the class. But if we have to do it, then case study provides us that opportunity which enables us to actually sit and do something and see what could be the results. Now, obviously, a Birla or a Tata or an Ambani would not hand over his business for you to experiment and and kill it. So we can't actually take our management students to a company on a daily basis to try out, do a trial and error method of what they are learning in the class. So another alternative is a case study, which provides the participants with an opportunity of learning by doing. Having said that, I feel you are now very clear about what is a case, and you will also understand what is its importance in management education. So up till now, what I have tried to do is I have tried to sketch before you why a management education which is case based or which uses the case method to do the learning is useful, and what a student can expect in a case. So a case basically then is a real life situation, and that one which is faced by a manager. So in other words, if I have to state this differently, a case is basically a story. एक कहानी होती है. हम beginning में, to begin with, we should just read a case as a story. Forget about the situation, forget about the crisis, forget about the decision making, forget about आपको क्या करना है, but एक कहानी करके पढ़ने को मिले पढ़ाने के बीच में, मेरे जैसा कोई बुढ़ा खूसट प्रोफेसर सारा टाइम पढ़ाता रहे, उसके बजाय एक केस स्टडी दे दे और आपको कहानी पढ़ने को मिले, इससे बेहतर और क्या हो सकता है. So now the question is that professor will tell you to prepare a case study and come for a case study discussion in the next class. He might even send the case study to you by mail, and he will expect all students to come prepared, having analyzed the case and having decided what they will speak about it and discuss the case tomorrow in the class. अब क्लास में आने के बाद हर स्टूडेंट वहां पर प्रोफेसर को ये दिखाने की कोशिश करने लगता है कि मैंने केस ना केवल पढ़ा है, बट मैं बहुत अकलमंद भी हूं और मैंने बहुत अक्ल लगाई है, और मैं आपको ऐसे सोल्यूशन बता सकूंगा जो कि बिल्कुल मतलब बाकियों से बहुत बेहतर होंगे. दे विल मच बेटर than others. So everybody is going to do that, and therefore what you need to do is that you need to prepare well. You need to prepare well, and these are the 4 steps which are just talking about the mechanics of preparing, how to go about preparing. So 1, read the case very quickly, and I said a few minutes ago, just read it as a story. Don't take any tension on your mind. Just think that you are reading a story. Read it as a story. Enjoy the case. Soak into the case, just as you are reading a novel. So read it without any pressure on your head. Then sit back and think, what is the case talking about? Enjoy it. Enjoy like a film which you have just seen, and you're thinking about क्या दिखाया था, शाहरुख खान किससे प्यार करता था और किसको दिखाता था. बहरहाल वो करने के बाद नाउ यू सिट डाउन टू सम सीरियस वर्क, क्योंकि आफ्टर ऑल जिंदगी में कुछ ना कुछ सीरियस वर्क भी कभी ना कभी करना ही पड़ता है. एंड दिस टाइम यू स्टार्ट रीडिंग द केस स्टडी and take a pencil in your hand and start underlining what you feel is important in the case. After all, when you read the case the second time, it will automatically start coming to you कि यार ये तो बहुत important लग रहा है, this is very significant. ये डिसीजन या ये सिचुएशन या ये हैपनिंग काफी महत्वपूर्ण लग रही है इस कहानी में, तो वी स्टार्ट अंडरलाइनिंग दैट दोज इंपॉर्टेंट पोर्शंस in the story. Now, having done that for the second time, you go to the end of the case. Mostly, professors will send you questions at the end of the case, a couple of questions, maybe two, three questions. And those questions are actually helping you to decide कि करना क्या है. If a case study is sent by a professor without questions, that case study is slightly more difficult because it leaves to you to decide कि करना क्या है. What have we to do? That case which is followed by questions actually has done one work for you, and that is it has identified the problem for you. It has asked you a solution to a particular problem. A case which is not followed by questions generally expects the student to also find out the problem, and that is therefore a more complex case, a more difficult case, because that entails puts the responsibility on you. आपके ऊपर एक थोड़ी सी ज्यादा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी बढ़ जाती है ये पता लगाने के लिए कि इस केस में आफ्टर ऑल प्रॉब्लम क्या है, क्या सॉल्व करना है मुझे. मैं एक्चुअली थोड़ा सा ध्यान मेरा बट रहा है. मैं अपने सेल फोन में घड़ी देखने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि सडनली बोलते बोलते मेरा ध्यान दीवार के सामने की घड़ी पर गई और उसमें 10:30 बजे हैं. तो मैंने सोचा कि बहुत टाइम है, लेकिन फिर मैंने रियलाइज किया कि 11 बजे अगर स्टार्ट हुआ तो 10:30 तो नहीं बजे हो सकते, इसलिए मैं घड़ी देख रहा था. बट एनीवे, मेरे को पक्का पता है कि आप लोग भी घड़ी देख ही रहे होंगे, तो हम आगे चलते हैं. मैंने भी देख ली बीच में. Now you read the questions at the end, and now for the third time, read the case study again. And now, this time, look for information in that case which will help you answer any of those questions. Supposing there are two questions or there are three questions, you have read the questions and now you're reading the case, and it will immediately strike you when you arrive at an important portion that this is useful for answering question number one. This is useful for answering question number two. And if I was in your place, मैं actually pencil से वहां पर हर उस पोर्शन को हाईलाइट करके नंबर 1 लिख देता हूँ छोटा सा ऊपर, because that portion I'm going to use to build my answer for question 1. Some portions are highlighted by a different color and I write number 2 on the top, small 2 with a pencil, because that is going to be used by me for answering question 2, and so on and so forth. Now your mechanics of doing the case is over. You have done what is required to be done, but that doesn't mean you have still analyzed the case, because uh, preparing the case actually means analyzing the case. And that is, some cases which are not followed by questions would actually want, the first thing that they would want in your solution to the case is an analysis of the case. So we